Hey everyone, it's Quiet Storm here. I just want to come with you guys with a quick vlog. I just want to make this really quick because we're constantly getting messages regarding GPA, community service hours, campus involvement, funds, and things like that, as when it pertains to being eligible to pursue membership into an organization. So basically, it's up to you as an interest, as an individual, if you want to meet those requirements or if you want to excel them. It is enlightening that, not enlightening, but it is good to see that a lot of member interests are wanting to excel and reach beyond those standards and those requirements, so to speak. So that's great to see. But at the same time, you need to remember that if you have the minimum requirements, you are eligible. You are good to go. When it pertains to, the four things I'm going to just cover real quick: GPA, community service, campus involvement, and funds. Sorry if I keep looking over. I got my notes on my laptop. But GPA, if you have the minimum GPA, that is looking at your cumulative GPA. So not just from one semester, but from your entire semester. Will chapters look at individual semesters and look at individual grades you received? They may or may not. If they have your official transcript in front of them, they have the ability to do that. But for at a national level, you are asked to have a cumulative GPA that meets whatever the requirement is that organization has set. Next, community service. Community service differs as far as how many hours you're expected to have from organization to organization and sometimes chapter to chapter. So to be on the safe side, this is where we really push you guys to make connections and to talk to members on your active campus or grad chapter level, so that you can ask them directly. So while nationals may have a specific number they ask for, a specific chapter may want more. So you're not going to know that unless you ask and unless you start that conversation and you reach out and you talk about that. So we just all as staff, we just really urge you guys to make that connection and make moves so that you can have that open conversation regarding community service hours. So while you may have so many community service hours and still not feel like it's enough, we can only do so much because we can only speak on behalf of our organizations and our chapters. So that's why it's important for you to open that door so you can openly ask these questions. Also, it's better to look, I know from my experience and from what I've heard, community service all through your life, great. It really is awesome. But focus more so on the most recent 6 to 12 months. So if you are wanting to ask us a question or wanting to ask a member a question regarding community service, think about what you've done within the last 6 to 12 months that really hit you. Also, I suggest tracking your hours, tracking who you worked with directly, as in like the supervisor, whoever you contacted to do that. And also take notes as far as what you gained from that experience. If you go and pick up trash, did you just pick up trash? Did you not take anything away from it? Or did you appreciate the beauty that was going on around you? If you're working with kids, did you just have fun working with kids? Or did you realize that you were a role model for them and that you were able to get that one shy girl that decided to separate herself from the group to finally speak up and talk and get engaged into what activities you guys were partaking in? Take notes and take time to reflect on what service did for you and how you gain back. You shouldn't just do community service just to do it. You should do it because it's something you genuinely love to do. Personally, I love working with Girl Scouts. I think it's an amazing organization. I was a Girl Scout myself for 12 years and I learned so much and I feel like I take away so much each time. So make sure you're not just doing service just so you can be eligible. Make sure you're doing service because one, you want to, and two, you're doing it with an organization that speaks to you and that you connect with. Next, campus involvement. This is pertaining to other clubs, other activities, other things you're interested in on your campus. There's not exactly a requirement that shows that you are involved on your campus, from what I know, but it is good to see that someone's involved on their campus and that they don't just go to class and they go home and that they're not social or that they don't take time to reflect on whatever interests them in real life. So if you are president of 5 organizations, great. If you're president of one, great. If you're just interested in one, great. Track that, put it down, explain, you might not even ever have to actually explain this, but just think, why am I a part of this organization? Why did I partake in this activity? Why do I go and hang out with people of this specific group? More so like, why, if you're an engineer major, why am I always surrounding myself around other engineers? It could be because you're taking the same classes, or it could be because there's other things that interest you with those people. So when it comes to campus involvement, make sure I think it's more important that you are a part of things that interest you and that you see or you have expectations of what you can take away from joining that or for partaking in that activity. It's not always what you're doing. We don't always look for people to be presidents of 5 things. We don't always look for people to be starting different organizations on the campus. We look for people that are doing things that they are passionate about, and we are looking for people that have purpose, that bring purpose to others, and that bring purpose to themselves through these activities on campus. It's kind of, campus is a home away from home. You don't want to just be going back to your room every day after class. If that's your thing, totally cool. We all love our Netflix binge nights, trust me. But at the same time, you're there for 4 years, especially if you're an out-of-state student or you are far from home, more than 10 minutes from home or something like that. Even if you are, it's just good to see that you're doing something on campus and that you are putting work into your campus and the community that you have at campus rather than just being like, meh, whatever. So, like I said, we don't look for people that are presidents of everything and that they're spearheading all these projects. We just look for passionate people. We look for people that have passion with what they're doing in their life, because then it shows us that if accepted and if they meet all the requirements, they will be passionate about whatever our organization is and our purpose and what we want to do as an organization as a whole. Last thing, funds. You're not always going to be able to understand why things are so much. You're not always going to be, you may not always be given the information as to how much things will cost, but if you are interested in pursuing membership into an organization, save up. From my understanding, no, there are no payment plans, there are no scholarships, there's nothing of that sort. So you have to find ways to get that money on your own. You have to find ways to save up. If this is something you're passionate about, you will. If there's a will, there is a way. We have been getting a lot of questions regarding funds, and it's not cheap, guys. You guys already know that, which is why you guys keep asking us about it. But at the same time, if you want to make it work, you can make it work. You have technically you have 3.5 years, if not more, to pursue membership into a Divine Nine organization at an undergrad level. But then you have the rest of your life to pursue membership at a graduate level. It may, no matter what that price point may be, there is a way to make it happen. So I put funds in here as far as a requirement because you have to have the funds to pursue membership. And while it's not about being eligible, it is about being being eligible to completely pursue, aside from having the GPA and the community service, which are the 2 main things. But then also campus involvement is something that's definitely looked at, and then funds. So at the end of the day, like I said before, it's your job and it's up to you. That's your decision if you want to meet requirements or if you want to exceed requirements. So I'm really hoping this question will kind of help decrease, I'm really hoping answering this question will help decrease some of the messages we've been getting regarding GPA, community service, and all that, just because requirements are listed on national websites. If you say they aren't, you're lying. Trust me, I know. If you meet the requirements, you are good to go. After that, like I said, it's up to you whether you want to exceed that requirement or if you want to stay there. People have their own opinions regarding GPA and if having the minimum GPA is good enough or if you need to have a higher GPA. That's up to you. If you are comfortable, if you are confident and comfortable who you are as a student and as a person with having the absolute minimum GPA and still wanting to pursue membership, go for it. I encourage you to go for it. I get really nervous because I feel like a lot of interests feel like they have to be the quote-unquote perfect interest. In some shape or form, we all have our flaws, we all have our strengths. It's not always about being perfect, guys. It's just being confident, ready, professional, and able to pursue this. And when I say able, I mean being eligible to pursue membership. Yes, everyone doesn't make it. Yes, a lot of people do make it. But that isn't always, I feel like a lot of interests have been scared to just take that step and just say, you know what, I'm ready, I want to do this. Stop worrying about failing and start worrying about yourself and being confident enough to just do it. Honestly, like Nike says, guys, just do it. If you are ready, if you are determined, if you are confident this is something you want to do, I encourage you to go for it. Yes, the worst that can happen is that you get rejected and that they say, no, at this time, we do not wish to carry on with intake with you as an individual. It happens. I'm sure it sucks. But at the same time, what's that quote? Like, you regret the shots you didn't take or something like that. I know I'm probably totally off with that, but basically, stop worrying about failing and start worrying about succeeding. If you focus on success and just doing it and going after what you really want to do, the chances of you succeeding are a lot higher than all that time you waste worrying about failing or worrying about not being good enough. You are good enough. If you meet the requirements, you are good enough. For each organization, you taking the time to say, this is something I want to do and this is an organization I'm interested in, that is already putting you a step above other people. And this is for all respective organizations because we all feel the same way. Yes, you took the time to say, I want to be an SG Row. I want to be a Delta. I want to be an Alpha Man. At that point, you are already saying, this is something I want to do, and you are vocalizing that. You are showing that that is something you want to do, and that is already admirable for us as members. Yes, the next step is being eligible, and after that, there are obviously other steps in pursuing membership. But the first step is saying, this is something I want to do. These are the things I'm going to do to get it. And I'm going to take I'm going to take that first step to pursue membership. So that's all I have for you guys. Just kind of a little pep talk and just kind of a reminder that the requirements are requirements and also minimums. So at the end of the day, if you want to go far, go for it. If you are comfortable with where you're at and who you are as a person and what you have to offer to an organization and a chapter, I also encourage you to go for it. So I hope this was helpful. Hope this maybe put a little fire under your ass. If not, you know what? You still have all the time in the world, but just make sure you pursue when you're ready. So I'll talk to you guys later. It's been Quiet Storm. Have a good week, guys. Bye.